All right, there we go. So we are up to session 14, I believe.
Jesus.
You guys survived lucky session 13 without any issues. And are starting to investigate London, see if we can find out what Jackson was up to here in jolly old England. You visited one of the local tabloids, a thing called The Scoop. Got some newspaper articles that Elias had shown an interest in, specifically relating to a series of murders. He was also potentially interested in an up and coming painter named Miles Shipley, and he'd also flagged a story about some sort of savage beast attacks in a relatively nearby town called Lesser Edale. Those should all be in your handouts, so you can see them, access them as you need to. With Dr. Carter, you double checked what you know about the Carlisle expedition. Didn't turn up anything new, but verified the newspaper stories that you have already about them, about who the members are and what their journey was before their untimely demise. And with that, you guys were deciding whether you should go and talk to Inspector Barrington at Scotland Yard, or whether you should go and investigate the painter, or whether you should look into the murders. Desperately trying to find something that would give you a relatively low profile, since you know when you were in New York, you tipped people off and ended up getting followed and violence ensued.
And people died.
Mm-hmm. They did indeed.
So it is currently like Sunday evening. You know that the Penhue Foundation, which is one of the other leads that you have, is open to the public Monday to Friday.
Sorry, and you could pause for a second. You guys continue on without me. My son just smacked his foot on something. You can probably hear him screaming in the background. So,
All right.
Where's my Discord?
All right. So you guys can discuss amongst yourself what you would like to do. Evelyn, you're still a little bit shaken up after wisely deciding to use your spirit board.
Bill and Evelyn were going to handle the painter because Bill didn't want to talk to a cop.
Yes.
Yeah, Evelyn's not keen on talking to the police either.
Ooh, dark history.
No, just doesn't enjoy it.
So are you guys going to the painters like Sunday night, or are you waiting until the more civilized hours?
Oh, more civilized hours for sure. Same with the cops, I would imagine. I mean, we don't want to show up in the middle of the night at the police station.
No. And Evelyn's got, yeah, Evelyn definitely needs a nap. She has some things to recover from.
All right.
Sharing any of that with us?
Sorry?
Hmm?
Did she end up sharing any of those things that she's been through with us, like all the dream stuff? I don't recall. I remember
She has
you
not.
describing it. No. Okay.
She has not.
All right. So is anybody doing anything during the night, or are we just going to Monday morning?
I have no plans
Uh,
for tonight.
so Sunday was when
Sunday was
Sunday morning is when we went to the restaurant for breakfast, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you guys
Just making
spent
notes.
and you guys spent Sunday at Oxford, double checking what you could find out about the various relics you've gotten, and
Right.
verifying the information that you have.
Yep.
So it's still Sunday or it's Monday now? Sorry, I missed it.
I'm about to go to Monday if nobody has anything they're doing Sunday night.
Nope. I'm
Nothing
going to
here.
confer with my brainiac colleagues, and there's nothing else that we need to do on Sunday, correct?
Not that I know of. Most things that we need to do will be far more receptive on Monday.
Perfect. All right. So it is a peaceful night's sleep, calm, relaxing, no no nightmares, no dreams that you even remember.
I thought you were going to say it's a peaceful night of rest, except for the horrifying dreams that you have.
Nope.
I mean, that does feel like it should be next.
Hey, where you're using your Ouija boards and stuff, a nightmare might be easy for you.
Maybe.
But yes, assuming Evelyn does not use her spirit board,
No, she's not going to be using it Sunday night.
all right. So Monday morning rolls around. It's the restaurant in the hotel. It's a much busier. People are getting ready to go about their business. It is a perfectly normal British morning. It's like overcast, rainy, little on the cool side. The thick London fog is just starting to burn off.
Unless you guys want to do some research, I'm thinking just breakfast out. Wait till like 11 in the morning before we even try with the cops, and probably 2 in the afternoon before we try with an artist.
That seems reasonable. No, I'd certainly appreciate a bit of additional sleep before we go to speak to the one who's been making those paintings.
I feel like he's the most riskiest one, because if he is making terrifying paintings, that means that he is either being a part of this horrifying cult or they are watching him. So, is there any other leads that you guys want to take a look at before we take a stab at that one? I know that no one is keen on the police. Again, neither am I. I just want to make sure that we exhaust any other avenues before we jump into that one. As I say over breakfast with everyone.
Yeah,
First breakfast, I guess. 'Cause
They don't-
we're British time.
whoever you guys were messing with, they don't really know me. I'm brand new to you guys, so
Right, but it's not about messing with us. It's once you start turning over rocks that people notice. And it doesn't matter who you are, whether you were there in New York or not, the fact that you are asking questions paints a certain target over your head. And he is one of those rocks that we are going to knock over.
Okay.
So again, I do want to do that. My big question is there anything else before we drive there?
Not that I'm
There-
aware of.
There were 3 things, wasn't there? We're going to find
There were
out.
the murders that were outside of town. There was the painter, and there was the police officer.
Did we already talk to the, I don't know, travel agent or whatever it was that set off the Carlisle expedition?
No.
The Penhue Foundation, you have not.
The 4 things.
4 things.
The foundation, that's probably a 9 to 5 one. Cops we can do anytime. Artists we'd have to, I'm thinking like mid-afternoon. And the murders is just, I don't know how do we
It's
research
out of
murders?
town. I can get involved there, but it's out of town, so it would be
Yeah, we don't want to do that. That's last then.
relatively, I'd say. Chris, do we know what the distance is, like in terms of time? I know I'm Canadian and they're like British, so they measure things in kilometers, but I measure things in distance, in time.
Yeah, I was going to say Canadians measure long distances in time.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just one of those weird little quirks of living in a massive country, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And London's a big town. I think they have like 5 or 6 different major sports teams in the same league.
Yep. So Lesser Edale, where the beastly savage murders happened, is about 175 miles north of London.
That's a long trip.
That'd be
Especially
like
in
3
this era.
hours at best. Like even now, that would be like 3 hours.
Yeah, that's a day trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is not a today thing.
And if we're going somewhere where people have been murdered, I would much prefer to have the captain with us.
That is a fair statement.
Not to cast aspersions on your skills,
No.
but
I'm good. I have
Ego is
pride.
hurt.
I'm a proud man. I have seen a friend of mine get cut down in his prime for going for, two. One specifically for the sin of pride, where he thought that he should be able to specifically grab people who had swords. That he should. I will not let that.
Volador was not in his prime. He was way past his prime.
Oh, there you go. Way past his prime.
Prime is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah. So we're going after the Penhue Foundation first, based on this.
Yeah,
If
I would think that's
they would likely be open to a morning meeting as opposed to the artist. Meeting as opposed to the artist. Meeting as opposed to the artist. Meeting as opposed to
I
the
wonder if
artist.
that's one of those things that you have to
Meeting
call
as opposed
for.
to
I
the
wonder if
artist.
that's one of those things that you have to
Meeting.
just happen.
It likely wouldn't hurt.
at least make an appointment. If we have to do it tomorrow, we can do it tomorrow. But we should make steps to have an appointment at least.
So this is, but what do we know about this foundation? They're like a they're a foundation for crippled children. Like what are they?
No. So the Penhue Foundation, it's pretty easy to find. They're like a public business. They're in central London. They are open to the public between 8:30 and 5:30 Monday to Friday, but the employees do have a half-hour lunch starting at noon. It's a foundation that was established in 1890 by Sir Aubrey Penhue, who is a renowned Egyptologist. And they basically oversee and fund expeditions to Egypt. Sir Aubrey was one of the leading figures of the Carlisle expedition in 1919. And was amongst those murdered in Kenya.
So we would be best served to have an Egyptologist with us. They take us way more seriously. I look at these people, the people around me, especially my new friend, and I say, can you pass as a person who has experience in moving Egyptian artifacts? Who? Bill?
Probably. Let me just double check.
And there is, you guys would also know that there is basically like not a private museum because it's open to the public, but it's not part of the British Museum, which is specifically a collection of Egyptian artifacts that is open to public viewing between noon and 4 p.m.
Do we need to,
So
with this foundation, do we need to like fake moving artifacts or anything like that? I mean, can't we just be straight up? We're interested in this. We're researching this.
That's entirely up to you guys.
Well, if we say we're researching the death of their founder, I feel like that's the kind of stuff that will be remembered. If we say, hey, we're looking at an expedition.
And you have the benefit of actually being a private detective.
Yeah.
They're far less likely to take me seriously than they are to take you seriously.
Yeah. I'm a private detective from the North America.
So. Yes, but that's where this expedition started. With the Carlyles. We've been to visit his sister. I'm sure you can weave something convincing out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that.
All right, so you guys are headed off to the Penhew Foundation?
Mm-hmm. How long ago did this happen again?
The Carlisle expedition left New York in 1919 and was killed in
4
Kenya
years ago, right?
in 1921.
And what year are we in?
1925.
1925.
So it was 4 or 5 years ago?
Yep.
1921 for UK.
The other thing that is also common knowledge is that the current...
You've always tell the truth. Reputation for tell the truth. So when you tell a...
Sorry,
is his audio kicking in?
Yeah, I think your audio cut out, Trev.
Yeah, you lit up, but no sound.
Oh no, not again.
Oh no.
How's that?
There we go.
There you are.
I hear you.
All right, that's okay. So Bill's philosophy is always tell the truth. So when you finally have to tell a lie, people will believe you.
Yep.
Right.
It's not a bad philosophy.
Yeah. The other piece of public information is that the current director of the foundation is a gentleman named Edward Gavigan. And he has been the director of the foundation. He was like the second in command of the facility before Penhew left, and then with his death, Gavigan has taken over as the director of the foundation.
Sorry, what was his name again?
Edward Gavigan.
Okay.
Chris?
Yes?
What would it take as a role or if I need to prepare something?
It's a picture of Gavigan.
See, I see it. Thank you. Let me just scroll up here. It's control, right? No, let me scroll up.
Cheery.
Is it paused? Is that why I can't move anything?
Nope. You should be able to move things.
Okay, anyway. To be able to falsify some papers, I know the thing is don't lie, and we are looking for. I'm going to try to keep it as much to the truth as possible, but the one thing I want to obscure is something around insurance. I want to pose as like an insurance investigator more than anything else for the Carlyles.
I'll let you use law for that.
I don't know if that's a good thing. Let's see, where's my?
I think law was what you mentioned we needed the last time we wanted to falsify something.
There is something weird happening with my computer here. I might need to reboot.
Okay.
How much do they roll?
63.
That is above my law.
Yeah, you could spend 23 points of luck.
I don't think I have 23 points of luck.
Make a roll for it.
You have 49.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Trevor?
I can make a roll for it, but I'm shit at it. Doesn't hurt to roll. Last time I was rolling all kinds of 3s and 2s.
By that stretch of logic, it should be
1 and 20.
Yeah, no, by that stretch of logic.
I will spend my luck on to make that roll. I need to spend 8.
That's much better than me.
Perfect. So yeah,
by that luck, Miss Collins will roll 1s all day today.
Only until my dice figure out that 1s are good, and then it'll immediately switch to the 90s.
Perfect. So yeah, it's going to take you the morning to kind of get some semblance of official-looking paperwork together. I mean, it's a bunch of typed documents. It's really a matter of getting the legalese to look right.
Okay.
But it you think it would pass a cursory glance at the very least.
Sure.
Yeah, as a smuggler, I got a collection of official-looking stamps. That
Sure.
There you go. Makes sense.
Just lucky enough to have the right one.
Okay, guys. Can you guys start without me? I need to reboot my computer. My entire setup here has somehow frozen.
Okay.
I'll be back.
All right. Perfect. All right. So you guys can easily make your way to the Penhew Foundation. Dr. Carter has a vehicle, and even though he's not here, he can make it available to you. You know, don't wreck it or anything.
I have a drive. No, I didn't tell you how much it was.
I'm not going to be driving in England until we're well out of the city, and he is in the front seat helping to guide me.
Bill has driven about 30 different countries in the world, and he's got a 40 drive auto. He's all right. I don't think we have to roll if you're at that level in a car, unless we're doing a car chase, right?
Correct. You can drive.
Got a 34. But Evelyn's still not willing to drive on the opposite side of the road from everything she's used to.
All right. So the Penhew Foundation. The Penhew Foundation. It is a quite lovely, like 2-story Victorian building. There is a high iron fence surrounding it. There is a delivery entrance at the back, wide enough to admit vehicles, and the front gate and the double gate at the back for the vehicles are both padlocked with like stout chains during the hours that they're closed. But during the daytime hours, up until 5 p.m., they are open for business.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to lead this one.
Well, I would suggest that we speak with Mr. Gavigan.
Okay, before we go in, what information are we trying to get?
Oh, that's something Alvin knows.
Yeah.
I was a bit indisposed yesterday, and I wasn't. I'll confess that I wasn't paying that much attention when everyone was speaking.
We know we sent off from there. If I was looking for the Carlisle expedition, I'd want to retrace their steps. So I'd kind of want to know their intended route and any communications that they said that would have them deviate from the route, or kind of, okay, we got done to this place early, so we're moving on early, or we got waylaid here, so we're about 2 weeks behind schedule before we get to the next place, so on and so on, where they, that kind of thing.
Any place
Are we
they
looking for
went.
anything else besides that? Do we know where they vanished or suspected were murdered exactly?
In Kenya.
In Kenya, Kenya is a country, not a city, right?
Correct.
So is there a city, a wilderness, an area, longitude, longitude, that sort of thing?
They were killed in the wilds of Kenya. That's about as much as the newspapers have said.
Okay, so we kind of want to know where they were staying before they went into the wilds of Kenya, and kind of what direction they went, what their goal was when they were going out, that sort of thing. Anything weird that came back out of that from the trip, right? Like, when I say weird, I don't mean, okay, this guy got smallpox or some sort of tropical disease or anything like that, or we want to know, okay, this guy was acting weird. Note saying, hey, we think we're being followed, that sort of stuff, right? Is there anything other than tracing the Carlisle steps and potentially finding the Carlisle expedition spot where they disappeared and really find out what happened to them that we want out of these people?
Certainly anything unusual or suspicious.
Right. So, because yeah, especially any connection with this cult, right? Or any of these cults.
If they sent anything back, they may have sent artifacts or something.
Yeah, or drafts
Artifacts,
of
books.
papers or something, right?
Exactly.
Or research papers or something. Photographs, artifacts. Yeah, I think you're onto it.
I'm trying to think of anything that Jackson would have asked about.
But the main thing is, our main goal is the cults, right?
Ours
You're back.
is at the moment.
I am. I figured out why it wasn't working.
Was it plugged in?
Plus.
Windows update. That's why it took longer than I wanted.
I forgot about those. Yeah, I have to do those with work sometimes. It takes log in an hour early, and it's done just in time for me to log in.
Yeah. Theoretically, I've got one to do overnight.
All right, here we go.
I'm on Linux, so it doesn't happen to me anymore.
So we're at the Penny Foundation, right?
Yeah, so
yes, we're trying to figure out the sorts of things that
we want to know.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good thing.
Evelyn's trying to put herself in Jackson's shoes. What would Jackson have asked if he was here?
Right.
I don't want to go in there and have to ad lib and bullshit without actually knowing what I want. So
that's a great point. So let's.
So
they funded the expedition. We're coming in. Alvin says, "Look, we're coming in, saying that that there's a minor insurance issue with one of the items, and we need to double check the itinerary of
Exactly.
the expedition. So if we can get
Also,
a detailed itinerary, that would be great.
yes. And anything that we were talking earlier, anything that would help, like any artifacts, photographs, drafts of research papers that they sent back, anything weird like, hey, we think we're being followed, and that sort of thing.
So that could be part of the itinerary, right? So we
That's
can say
right.
that, look, the itinerary, we need the official itinerary, and we need any evidence that could support that itinerary.
Also, one
any
other
kind
thing.
of communication that you had back and forth that has any kind of date stamps or time stamps. So
Yes.
that should give us the communiques as to
Right.
where they were, right?
Right.
So-
And then here's the other thing. The newspapers only said they were murdered in the wilds of Kenya. Kenya is a country, not a city. We kind of want to know where they were before they went into the wilds, why they went into the wilds, kind of what direction they were going in, and also, is there any actual proof of death? And maybe that could be your insurance angle. Is there like death certificates? Is there photographs of the bodies? What is proof of death? Right? Did they just disappear and are presumed dead, or are we taking the locals' word for it in Kenya?
So
Were the bodies shipped home for burial?
So as much as that is good, the fact, if we are contesting the death, that is a larger legal matter.
Just for insurance. We're just dotting I's, crossing T's.
Right, but it's still a larger matter like asking for information to support death. If we do something else, like saying, hey, we are here just to make sure, like on an insurance level, which shipping companies were involved where, like who shipped things from where to where. We just want to make sure that who's liable insurance-wise, like whether it be a hotel or a shipment or anything like that as to where they were. It's a much smaller thing. They're like, oh, okay, so you're not trying to say that they're alive or dead. You just need to know which companies were involved so you can deal with dispensing accounts properly, right? You can say something like, hey, a bunch of people have said that they were missing payments because these people were dead, and we just wanted to verify which ones are legitimate or not, because the people who are actually involved, they're not around to confirm where they were, where they stayed, and which companies they dealt with.
The missing payments angle is a good one, I think. It gives a reason, as opposed to nebulous insurance issue. Never mind, don't look in this direction.
Yeah, this is more of a, hey, the insurance needs to pay off these companies that were involved. Everyone is saying that they were that these people owed the money. We just want to make sure which ones are legitimate and not.
Yes.
And that should give us
a valid reason for a private investigator to be looking into this sort of thing.
And it's boring paperwork. And however, I need a reason for you guys to be there.
Oh, I'm used to being dismissed as someone's assistant. I can take notes if you'd like.
I can just be the driver. I'm a citizen of the world.
That's funny. I can use that. You are my driver, Bill.
Who doesn't want a chauffeur?
Well, more importantly, I'm a stupid American, right?
Right.
So I can't drive on the wrong side of the street. I can't drive on the wrong side of the street. That's why I hired Bill. How does that sound, Bill?
It works for me.
He's managed not to crash so far.
Yeah.
Is Bill big?
Bill's based on Radar O'Reilly from MASH.
Okay,
No.
so no, not at all.
No, completely unassuming.
Chris, what would it take for us to show up with a briefcase or some random paperwork so it looks like we have, like we're taking notes and we're...
Yeah,
I can pull that off. I mean, I used to be the company clerk. I can do that.
There you go.
And
sorry, what was that?
what were you going to say?
Who?
You.
Oh. I was just saying that I have notebooks. I can easily take notes convincingly as I take notes.
Perfect.
That shouldn't be too much of a stretch for me, even with the amount of sleep I haven't had.
Perfect.
Well, you did get some sleep last night, I hope.
More than the night before. But I wouldn't
seem better.
necessarily call it restful. It was sleep.
You definitely have more color, I'll tell you that much.
Yes, I caught a glimpse of myself in a mirror on Sunday, and really any color would be more color than I had then.
Yeah.
But then she self-consciously sort of pulls her sleeves down a bit further over her wrists, which do show a little bit of bruising.
Right. So I think that's our angle. We're just looking to corroborate some payment stuff.
Perfect. All right. So as you guys arrive at the Penhew Foundation, it's a well accoutered Victorian building, 2 stories. It is gated. There is a kind of like a single gate at the front, and then a delivery gate at the back. There are chains and padlocks for when they're closed, but they're currently both open. Inside, it is a well-appointed house. A lot of Victorian, Egyptian trinkets and artifacts on display in like cases as just part of the overall decor of the place. The first floor is this floor here. As you enter in, it's fairly busy. Like it's an office. There are scholars talking amongst themselves in like little groups here and there. There's like reading rooms where people can like view the artifacts or any books or scrolls or anything that are part of the Foundation's collection. Basically, the way it works is you go into the room, they bring you the thing that you want to look at, they leave, lock the door behind them. When you're ready to go, you knock on the door and they put the thing back and out you go, sort of thing. So they basically lock you in with the artifact while you look at it, study it, write your notes, whatever.
So you can't leave with it.
So you cannot leave with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Dr. Carter's going to be so disappointed that he's missing this place.
Mm-hmm.
This seems like the ideal place for him.
Maybe we'll come back.
Well, I mean, possible.
And it's easy enough to find Edward Gavigan's office. There's like a little Sorry?
Is he a doctor?
He is not. Okay. He is the director of the Foundation. There's like a little waiting area with like some like wingback chairs and bookcases, periodicals, and a receptionist, a male receptionist working at the desk.
As in for couriers, or as the opposite of female?
As in the opposite of female.
Okay, sorry. He said male receptionist, and I just needed that clarification if it was like an entrance for male, or okay, who's the guy? Okay, so let's go up to the receptionist.
That's him there.
And we're going to announce ourselves and say we're here to speak to Mr. Galvin about some insurance and a small discrepancy in some insurance information on one of the expeditions that he was at.
I see. Do you have an appointment?
No. But I've come from as you can tell by my accent, I've come from very far away, so I'd like to get this done with as soon as possible. It's only going to be a matter of minutes. I don't expect it to be an hour, so I just need to ask some questions, and then probably he's going to voice me on to someone else, more junior than him, to get the information I need.
Let's see. Give me a persuasion or fast talk roll.
I am fast talking that. I can talk really quickly. M-N-O. Here's my fast talk.
Is there an assist feature here?
Fast talk.
Oh, right.
It does just enough.
I will let Mr. Gavin know that you're here. Please have a seat.
Yes, absolutely. Do you have a tea or something I can have? You guys are big on tea, right? I was trying to distract her from thinking too much and getting us going in the right direction.
I will let Mr. Gavin know that you're here. If he has a space in his schedule, he will see you when he can. And he'll just kind of walk off.
$12 later.
Is there an insightful check or?
Psychology.
Yeah, I'll make a roll, but I don't expect much. Yeah, I don't know. I hate bureaucrats.
So yeah. After a few minutes, Thomas comes back. He says, I expressed to Mr. Gavigan that there were some Americans here to see him. He will make some time for you. Please have a seat.
Great, thanks.
That's gracious.
We will have some tea brought in for you.
Evelyn just smiles politely.
And Thomas just kind of gets back to work, like writing letters and shuffling papers. He does not even deign to look at you.
Because I'm so American.
He is making a deliberate attempt to just go about his busy work. And after probably 10-15 minutes, after like tea has been brought, a gentleman he recognizes, Edward Gavigan, kind of strides out of his office. It's like, I understand there are some insurance questions.
Director Gavigan, yes. Alvin Sharp, PI. I have a few questions, but could we step into your office for a minute? It's just a little sensitive nature.
Certainly. Come on in, inside.
Thank you.
It's like, Thomas, see to it that we're not disturbed. Thank you. And he leads you into this very magnificent, like wood-paneled office. And I'll get everybody to give me a spot hidden roll.
Yes, and this is the good nature of all improv.
Spot hidden is an ominous way to enter a room.
I aced that one.
I did not.
Nor did I.
I'm too busy playing to the crowd here. So I'm going to turn to Director Gavin, and I'm going to try to be as American as possible. Like, I'll whistle. Nice digs.
Thank you.
Evelyn winces. Like, oh god.
I'm ignoring everything, just kind of looking around.
It's probably for the best.
So, Bill, you do notice a very modern safe built into the floor in one of the corners of the office, slightly ajar.
That means it's made of glass.
That's right. As all good safes are.
As all good jars are.
And he kind of, gestures for you. He's got like 3 or 4 chairs. He says, please have a seat.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So, yeah, I'm here. Look, I've come quite a long way. I'm ruffling through the suitcase, the briefcase that I have, looking a little bit like not lost, but like I've got a lot of stuff on my mind. Saying, here, I hand over some rumpled papers. We just need to. I'm here following up on behalf of the Carlyles. There's some small insurance matters. Seems to come up that this is a fairly high profile situation, and we've had a lot of different companies come in and asking for payment on services that were supposedly rendered during the what do you call it? Expeditions during one of the expedition. So we just are trying to ascertain or figure out which ones are legitimate or not, so we can go ahead and have the estate start covering for those backlogs. We've been trying to sort it out for some time, but I was sent overseas here to take a look at any receipts or communication that could figure out time and places for these things, so we can try to sort out which ones of these bills are legitimate for things that were incurred during those times, or if they're there are some records in the Africas that are not as well recorded, so we're trying to figure out where they went and who they were there and what they spent on, so we can pay these things. Yeah, so that's why I'm here.
I see.
Evelyn will bring out a notebook and pretend. Well, no, she'll actually start taking notes. She's not even pretending to. She's actually doing it.
And you're certain that these claims are legitimate?
That's what we're trying to find out. That's what we're trying to find out. Like, we got I don't have them here, but we have like a bunch of different invoices for different places at the same time, and we know one of them has to be legitimate, but we've got 3 different competing people saying that they flew them from point A to point B, and we have like some porters or some that are saying that they were entrusted with certain things, and it just gets complicated because there's quite a few people, and over a long period of time and over long distances, these things get a little bit murky. So we're just looking for anything that corroborate where they were at any given time. And the reason it's sensitive is that some of these amounts are not
insignificant.
They're not small.
Sir.
Yeah, they're not insignificant. And so I want to make sure that people don't know that we're looking into them too deeply before we can turn around and with the evidence saying, look, these 3 are legitimate, or these 4 are legitimate, these others are not.
Well, I can assure you that none of these claims are legitimate.
Oh, and why is that?
The Foundation handled all travel arrangements for the expedition.
Right, but
visas, wire transfers, funding, everything was handled through the Foundation itself.
So that's also what they're saying, but they're saying that the Foundation hasn't come around paying them. And insurance-wise, some of those are tied specifically to Mr. Carlisle, and we're afraid of paying twice. If the Foundation's already paid them, well, then why would we disperse again?
I can understand that. Well, I'm sure.
Right. So
if you leave your paperwork with Thomas at the desk, we will look into it for you.
So I'll see what I can. I'm trying to and he might be resist my fast talking charms, but I'm trying to get him to say, look, there's a lot of paperwork here. I don't have it all with me. If you give me a record, I'll corroborate, and then we'll go backwards from there, and we'll tell you what we have paid for like that in the future. If anyone comes back towards the Foundation and says that they haven't been paid, or they come out of the woodwork, we can send you the information saying that we have paid for these expenses.
Okay. You can give me a hard fast talk roll.
Ooh,
was anything shipped that would be in dispute? Or rather, was anything shipped that the Foundation has already covered? That would be a sweeping way of dismissing some of these claims. As Evelyn takes notes.
Sorry.
All right.
We're trying to avoid costly lawsuits here, sir.
Yeah.
There are a number of interesting artifacts that were shipped here, but everything has been cataloged and is currently in our Egyptian display.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to take anything out of here. It's not like I'm trying to walk out with your receipts or anything like that. I just need to go over a few things, and it's a lot of minutia. I mean, that's why I have my assistant here to help me out with it. It's not worth your time, right?
Of course. There are still a number of artifacts being cataloged in the warehouse in Cairo that have not yet shipped. I suppose it's possible they may be trying to get an advance payment for the shipping on those. But to the best of my knowledge, there are no outstanding bills.
I know. I hope not. That's what that's why I want to make sure that the bills that we got haven't already been paid. How easy would it have been to submit an invoice to you, get paid, and then turn around to the Carlisle saying, "Hey, this was never paid."
Unfortunately, it
Oh,
would not
Chris,
be.
I rolled-
American way.
It would not be the first time that there's been some discrepancies. The young African woman that Roger was with, she disappeared during the expedition with the ready funds to the amount of you can like consults like a ledger, 3,500 British pounds.
Oof.
Yeah, give a little whistle.
How much was that, Chris?
3,500 pounds.
Evelyn will flip back a page in her little notebook where she normally just writes her dreams and say, would that be Bonet? Am I saying that right?
Oh, I believe so. It was
Thank
quite
you
some
for
time
that.
ago.
Thank you for that, Evelyn. It's I keep forgetting their names. I mean, it's not the only case we have here, so.
Yes, the African woman, Mr. Carlisle was quite infatuated with her. He did not consider the loss of money to be significant, but he was deeply affected by the treachery of his paramour.
Is
Did that
that
happen in Kenya?
No, in Egypt.
Oh.
he turns in a business, like a little business tone, and kind of like makes a note to write that down. It's like, director, are those 3,500 pounds something that the foundation is looking to recoup from the Carlisles because of that? Because it came from them, or that treachery came from them?
In the grand scheme of things, the 3,500 British pounds has been reimbursed by Mr. Carlisle's sister already to the foundation as a generous donation. So,
We'll just double check to make sure that you did get those. Can we, Evelyn? Can you write that down, please?
but no, this companion disappeared while they were still in Egypt. It was Miss Masters who suggested that they spend the summer in the relatively cool wildlands of Kenya as a chance to rest and relax outside of the stress that the expedition had taken and the loss of the companion. Unfortunately, once they were there, they unwisely entered into dubious territory and paid for it with their lives. Unfortunately, most of the expedition's records were lost as Sir Aubrey took them to work with. Wherever he is, that's where they would be.
Where? Do you know where this territory was?
I'm afraid I do not.
Do we have?
Kenya's a big place, I've heard.
Did you guys get regular correspondence? Because we got some payments near the end there, and they're coming from multiple different locations that can confirm where they were.
Unfortunately, the last communications we had when they were setting to Nairobi from Egypt, from Cairo.
And nothing more specific than that? I guess not. So don't want to have to go to Cairo, that's for sure.
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. Chris, I did roll a 24 on that heart check.
Yep. But that's basically that is why he's still talking to you, and it's not just.
Oh, okay.
Not just said drop the papers off. I'll look into it.
Yeah. Okay. So can we have can you have prepared like a ledger of where they were, just so we can double check that with our files and write off some stuff, get rid of some of these vultures that are kind of circling around?
I'm certain Thomas can put something together for you.
Perfect, thank you. Sure. Evelyn, is there anything I'm forgetting here? I don't know what I'd do without her. She keeps track of everything for me.
Not that I can think of immediately. I can certainly reach out to Erica again
Yeah,
to see
if we have any,
particular.
yeah, I mean, after we go over the locations that you send us, we might have some additional last minute questions, but hopefully that'll be enough to put everything to bed, right?
Certainly. Well, if we can be of any assistance, please don't hesitate.
Yeah,
I'm
it's no worry.
curious. What did they send back? And we've gotten some rather ridiculous claims for amounts that are absolutely incorrect.
Well, one of them is big enough to have shipped like an entire pyramid almost. So
Oh, certainly. I can show you the artifacts that we have here. There are some on loan to the British Museum.
Reasonably certain they didn't ship an entire pyramid, but
wow, when you hit amounts like 4,000 or 5,000 for shipping, it's got to have been heavy.
just fill the box with lead, maybe.
So I'll say absolutely. If you can show us just to double check to make sure that some of those sizing things we might be able to knock off just based on the size of the artifacts being shipped.
Certainly. It's follow me. And
again, Director, I expect you to be busy and doing other things. This is not something that necessarily should take your time.
Oh, that's okay. And
is he taking as a psychology thing? I want to know if he's taking a specific interest about this, because I feel like this is one of those things that he could have very easily shipped off to an underling.
It is a psychology thing.
Psychology.
I'll make that roll too. You made it. Never mind.
No, I did not. It's 91.
Oh,
not 19.
I'll try for the roll too. I'm not very good at this.
I'd like to try because theoretically I am good at it.
Oh, I blew it so
really
bad.
Depends on what my dice think, though.
All right. So Evelyn, it's very clear to you that yes, Gavigan could 1,000% just like pass this off on to any of the other academics that are here. You're not sure why, but you can tell he doesn't want to pass you off to somebody else. There's like,
does it seem to be pride that his organization was involved in this, or is it a darker emotion like, a dread? He doesn't want anyone being exposed to these things without his supervision.
More of a suspicion.
Did my spot didn't find anything?
You saw the safe.
Just the safe, eh?
Yep. But yes, Evelyn, you can tell like he doesn't want you out of his sight.
Gotcha.
Us three or Evelyn?
Oh, I imagine the three of us.
So he will lead you up the stairs to the second floor.
Evelyn's going to try to dismiss some of that suspicion. And just ask him little things about Erica, like if he's met her, or if he's had an opportunity to see her library, or if he had heard about the break-in. Anything that adds legitimacy that we actually do and know Erica and have interacted with her.
That sounds like a charm roll.
Of the Benet thing, I was hoping would help. Oh, charm's not good. Evelyn's usually too sickly to pull off charming. Oh yeah, she's usually far too sickly to pull off charming.
No, my only correspondence with Miss Carlyle has been via the post and telegrams.
Has anybody ever heard of the
lovely library?
Whatever happened to the person that absconded with the funds? Did they ever find her, charge her?
Benet?
No, she has
Yeah.
not been found.
You're not still looking, right? I mean, that's more of a
That's
nice
an
thing, I
Egypt
guess.
thing. They're probably worried about that in
Yeah.
Cairo.
Oh, I swear to
Yeah.
God, if I get sent to Cairo to look for her,
It is not something of my concern.
If you're being sent to Cairo, I will need a much lighter wardrobe than I normally have for New York.
yeah.
And I'm going to get paid extra.
So as he leads you up to the second floor is the exhibit hall. It's largely just one open area. There are like very tall, broad windows with like those ventilator openings at the top that use the mechanical screw things to open and close.
Yes.
Yeah. All of the surfaces are furnished in marble. The ceiling is 20 feet high. And there are mummies and cases filled with pottery and artifacts and statuary.
Oh my.
And it all has that kind of, like quiet that only museums have.
Yes. So I kind of like whisper to the director, this is quite something you have here. Can you just I want to make sure I don't actually trip over anything because all of this stuff looks way more expensive than I could deal with on this trip. So I hope you don't mind, but can we take the long way around so we don't actually stumble on anything?
Oh, certainly. And he'll basically just kind of lead you around the artifacts. There are 2 file rooms as well. 3 file rooms. And the file rooms are filled with artifacts that have been evaluated and cataloged. They have like those flat drawers that pull out.
Mm-hmm. Like for blueprints, things that you don't want to fold.
Exactly. So it's quite the collection. Somebody can give me an archaeology or anthropology roll.
Oh yeah, we're all good at that. My anthropology is 1, my archaeology is 1, so you get to pick.
Oh, my archaeology is 3 and my
Mega ditto.
anthropology is 22.
I have just as much chance as to succeed as to botch. Oh, I thought I was going to roll a 3.
All right. So as you make your way through, there are basically rows of just like pottery shards and broken pots and noseless statues and bas relief carvings of cats and men and ladies. Nothing of note. Definitely nothing here that seems to be of any real import.
Nothing Peru-ish.
Nothing Peru-ish at all.
Nothing Peruvian.
But as you're going on, and Gavigan is giving you the details on all of these, he is long-winded and dull.
So I was going to say, I want to seem disinterested in his details and more interested in the, as if I was actually on this job. I was like, yeah, okay, that's great about your archaeology stuff. Totally not interested. I just want to get out of here.
Evelyn, on the other hand, is paying keen attention.
Yes, but I guess by his discourse, it's not hard for me to be disinterested.
It is not. But yes, as he kind of finishes the tour, he's like, I don't know if there's anything there of any use to you, but that is the extent of what we have. Some of these Sir Aubrey sent back from various smaller digs around Cairo and Giza, things that he found along the way. Nothing that seems to be of import to what Mr. Carlyle was originally looking for. But
the only comments that I do is how much does that weigh, right? Because shipping is often about weight, so I'm trying to stay on that angle.
okay. Perfect.
To different items.
Yep. And he'll give you all of the details.
Sure. Okay, let's write that down and we go on from there. Okay, so that gives us a good idea of where these came from and how much they weighed, and that might help us sort out some of those shipping deals. And with your, I guess he's your assistant, who's going to tell us what you've already paid, so we don't double pay. It should be, I think, 90% of that is here. Would you say, Evelyn? Should have most of the details we need.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, I think we're good here.
I mean, after that, it's just going to be a matter of dealing with any of the other requests that gradually come in.
Yeah, any
She's
expenses
still
that
getting
come up
some.
between. It's crazy. At least I got a trip to the UK out of this, but yeah, okay. I mean, it's my trip for the two of us is less than having to pay most of these things. So, well, thanks a bunch.
And he will basically escort you towards the front door, but not all the way out.
Okay. Chris, as we leave, and especially after we leave, I am exceedingly paranoid that we tripped some kind of alarm somewhere. So I'm going to be keen-eyed during the next little while.
Okay.
We specifically do not leave him where we are staying, since he's preparing those documents for us, right?
Yep.
Or his assistant is. Yep.
I didn't see any tattoos or anything like that on him. Nothing hinting for culty.
Give me a spot hidden roll.
I made it.
No, you don't. You didn't spot anything. Anything on him.
That was ominous.
Yeah. But yes, you guys are basically shown to the front. Not actually escorted out of the building, but shown to the front. And then he turns.
Do we get the details? Do we get the details of those like things that he said he was going to have as put together for us while we were on a walk? Or is that like a tomorrow thing that you're going to have them ready? Or...
Yeah, it's a pretty basic itinerary.
So we walk out with one. Okay, great.
And it basically just corroborates what is in the papers. They left from here. They went to Egypt. From Egypt, they vacationed in Kenya, and that's where they were killed. It's not very detailed at all.
Why would you want a vacation in Kenya in 1920s or 1919?
Safari, wildlife, and it is cooler than Egypt.
Okay.
Daddy.
AFK, just 1 minute.
What mega Pokemon is that?
So, where does that leave us? So at least they corroborate the same information the paper said. It would have been interesting to see expenses or details from anywhere that was not listed.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Yes, that's that.
All right, so are we being trailed?
Can give me spot hidden rolls.
Oh, I thought that one was mine.
Holy jumpins, look at this. Look at me. Watch me waste this roll.
Woof. We're all
pretty nervous today.
We are
flightyless birds today.
Cats in a room full of rocking chairs.
But yes, the three of you do spot as you're leaving the Foundation. You are definitely being followed.
It's not just me, right? We have company.
I said it. I warned it. How do we, Chris? What I have, and I'm certain my smuggler friend Bill has, had to get rid of tails. How do we go about doing that?
Stealth rolls.
Oh dear.
I suppose I'm driving, so I have to be the one
Is-
making it, right?
If you're
You
trying to
don't want
lose
me making it.
if you're trying to lose them in your car, then it is a drive auto roll.
So I don't need to lose them in my car. I just need to lose them, period. I have 72 stealth. Is this a one roll for everyone?
It's
Or is
who-
this a everyone?
are you guys splitting up or are you staying together?
And together.
We're staying together.
Please.
Right.
Let's lead them to a hotel in a different part of town than we are in first, and then we'll get rid of them.
So if you're staying together, then one person rolls.
Bill, what's your stealth like?
20. My drive is 40.
My stealth is 72.
So you're in charge of that one. But again, let's lead them to a far different part
Yes.
of town and to a hotel and ditch them at the bar or something.
Yeah, exactly. So they think that we're
Hotel
staying
we are
there, but we're
not
staying.
staying
Exactly.
Also, what do these guys look like? I rolled a 1. I could probably tell you're their eye color.
Okay.
Come on! I'll push that roll.
How do you push again?
You have to tell me what you're doing, what sort of risky behavior you're doing that is going to result in you getting to push the roll.
So we're going to go through. So we're at the hotel. We're going to push through the kitchens to get out, which could potentially get us arrested.
Okay. All right, perfect. All right. So you kind of like duck through one of the hotels, and these guys are like they seem to be fairly competent to Alvin and Bill. There's more than one, and it's like they're kind of pairing off. So like when you leave the site of one trail, another one picks it up, and you just kind of notice because as you kind of zig and zag and keep your eyes on them, like shit, that guy's no, now it's that guy. Like they're definitely well versed in this sort of activity. So you're like, okay, we need something, kind of bigger. So you kind of duck through like a little cafe, through the kitchen, out the back, hopefully quickly enough that you kind of break their line of sight long enough. And after a couple of more blocks, you're fairly certain that you're not being followed anymore.
Okay. And they definitely picked up our trail at the place, right?
Definitely. And actually, Bill, since you got a critical success, the first couple of people that were following you were people that you saw in the Foundation. Like, shit, wasn't that guy one of the scholars talking to some of the other guys? Like, that looks like one of their security guards. So like the first couple that tailed you were definitely from the Foundation, and then the subsequent, as they kind of passed off the tail, it was just other people around.
Well, this is a suspect organization then.
It's enough to indicate that it is a large organization.
Okay, so what did we learn from that?
These people are following us.
Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you.
I mean, from the whole thing. I mean, I hope that we learned something because we tipped our hand that we're in the UK now.
Well, we got what we want. We got the itinerary, right? The one question we didn't ask that I wanted to answer is, did they find the bodies? Were they shipped home to be buried? That sort of thing.
Yep.
Did we get the itineraries, Chris, or are they being sent to us by?
No, you got them. They're pretty basic.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
And in terms of the body, according to the newspaper reports, is that the bodies were basically savaged, massacred.
So it's possible it was not them. It was just bodies.
Right. According to Elias's notes, there were no white people amongst the bodies of the massacre.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. That means that this foundation might have been involved. That's fantastic. And they've got deep pockets.
Well.
Am I wrong?
About?
Next stop being cop.
I was talking that entire time on mute.
Lovely.
So I was telling Chris that we reconvene at our hotel and we're going to go over the information again to see what we have to connect some dots. Because right now, we don't have much of anything. We know people that are involved with the expedition, but it hasn't led us to any supernatural events. The closest thing we come to anything even remotely having to deal with that are the suspicious murders that happened outside of town, but doesn't seem particularly linked at the moment. The only other thing we have is the Penhughes Foundation is interest in following or interested in people who are going or asking questions about this situation. But they're too big to infiltrate, Chris. And I just wanted to confirm, and you mentioned that there was file rooms and that there are windows that could be opened with all these giant hooks and stills. You did describe the place as, when we were going in, as fairly well defended, as well as having security on the inside. So it's not like we're going to easily be able to break in if there was information that we wanted to have, like before, right?
Depends on how good you are at breaking and entering.
Even if I was good at breaking and entering, it would still be more difficult than the Juju house.
Oh, yeah.
From what you guys saw when you were there, the building itself, it's a Victorian townhouse.
Right.
It does have a fence around it, a gate around it, with a front and a back entrance. The whole time you were there, you only saw like 2 security guards kind of patrolling the building. One
of them which followed us.
One of whom Bill recognized as one of the people who followed you. Like there's security because it's a museum, but it's not like, oh my god, it's a veritable fortress.
Yeah, but breaking into a museum is not something that people do. Yep. It's not an easy thing to do. Okay. So let's go back to the hotel and check our notes, see where this leads us. Because as much as the Carlisle expedition is interesting, our main goal here is to stop some cults because there's terrible things coming. And we want to stop the destruction of New York City.
Among
right?
other
That's
things.
what we saw in our dreams.
Yes.
That's what we saw in our dreams, right? Destruction of New York City, and that's what's driving us right now. So let's regroup.
Right. So as you go through your notes, probably the only thing of real import is the fact that there is a concealed safe in the floor of Gavigan's office.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is that so strange that the director of a museum would have their own safe for whatever documents that they have?
That in and of itself is not strange, but if you're investigating an evil cult and you're being followed and there's a safe.
I mean, the last time we ran into a floor anything was in the Juju house, which led to horribleness.
Yep.
Certainly did.
Question for you, Chris. His office,
Yep.
which was spacious and swank, was it near the actual museum pieces, or was it further removed?
Separate floor.
Different floor, right?
Yeah, all of the museum exhibit stuff is the second floor. All of the offices are on the first floor.
Is it my impression that there was more, less, or equal chance of getting into that office versus getting into the file rooms that were on the exhibition floor?
It's probably easier to get into the offices because they're ground floor. You don't have to scale the side of a building.
Okay.
On the map here, this is the ground floor. That right there is Gavigan's office.
Gotcha.
So there's 3 major windows, but still we'd have to break in, make noise. It's all awkward. Okay.
And why are we considering breaking in?
We're not considering breaking in. I wanted to know what the security setup.
Okay.
If we ever did think that we need to go for whatever's in that safe, one of the odd things that I found about the entire encounter we had, and I just want to run this by everyone, see if you guys found it as strange as I did. This happened 4 years ago, right?
Yes.
Why would he happen to have such intimate knowledge over what happened 4 years ago when he wasn't a director, as well as having that information on his desk when we came in? I mean, if this was a closed investigation or anything like that, it would be all in archives or filed away somewhere.
Mm.
So even if he went to go get them because we were announced, it was what, 15 minutes before we got spoken to? I didn't see him leave his office. We were waiting right there. I didn't see any other exits from his office specifically that would lead elsewhere.
We didn't call ahead, so we didn't have time to prepare before we got there. I didn't even notice that.
Bill. Thinking about
Yeah.
this now, because as I scroll back, I realized that you got like exceptional success on that initial spot hidden check. You rolled a 10. Thinking back on it, you notice the safe. The safe, not terribly unusual. What was unusual is the carpet in front of one of the closets was matted, like something heavy had swung back and forth over it a few times. A non-smuggler probably wouldn't catch it.
Trevor, you there?
Yeah, sorry. What's the relevance of that from a smuggler's point of view? Does that mean they're like moving a desk over it or something to hide it? That sort of thing?
Secret room.
Secret room, secret compartment.
I see. All right. Well, I'll relay that information.
Huh, a smuggler's nook. Good catch, Bill.
Just got to have the eye.
I guess the eye and the habit, right?
Well, I wouldn't say a habit, but I've been lucky a couple of times.
So they're involved. You know, when we went after the Juju House, there were some prominent people that we suspected that were involved in, or some at least well-to-do people that were involved in that situation. And we didn't know who they were because they were wearing masks and stuff like that, but the police ended up rounding them up. It is possible that the director here is involved in something like that. Chris, when's the next full or new moon? Here it's the new moon that there's people go missing, right?
Yeah, around that.
I mean to say, in the States it was the full moon. Here it's the new moon where people got murdered and missing, right?
In the States, people went missing on the new moon. People were murdered whenever the cult needed to kill somebody.
Right, okay. But here in London, there was other information about them, mutilations and stuff like that, and those seemed to corroborate a full moon, right? There was a difference between those two, I remember?
Those were the ones in the village to the north.
Okay.
And it is currently the waxing moon. It's like less than a week to the full moon.
Okay. So, Bill, I think tit for tat is in order. I mean, he had us followed.
You want to follow them?
Well, we know they're involved somehow. So far, it's the only lead we got without leaving town or speaking to the detective.
Again, this guy's based on Radar R. Riley from MASH. He's like, that's a little heavy work for me, right?
I didn't say it was you that was going to do it.
Oh, thank God.
What do you think?
I think this is a job for the Shadow.
Miss Collins, what do you think? Following this guy, think it's worth the risk?
The fact that we were followed leaving certainly indicates something's off.
Chris, we went in the morning, right?
You went in the early afternoon because you spent the morning getting all of your documents and everything together for your insurance.
Okay. Is it closing time yet? Has he gone home yet? I don't know what time it is now. I know we had to ditch and stealth and all that stuff, so I don't know how much time it is.
You've got probably like a couple of hours until closing time. Since you're in London, you look up at Big Ben and it's like 2:08.
So if I was part of a criminal organization and I was suspicious of someone, and whether I was the top or the middle or the bottom, and I alerted someone that there was suspicious activities going on, I would then probably have to go face to face with either my accomplices to figure out what's going on, or I would have to report to my bosses. So if we follow him today or tonight, he might lead us to a gathering spot of someplace. Either that or he's going to go home. And I don't mean on interacting with him. I'm just very curious where he's going after he has set spies on us.
Seems like a reasonable thing to wonder.
So if both of you feel safe here, I'm going to try to do that.
We could go talk to the artist while you're doing that.
Yeah. Keep your eyes peeled. We've been followed once.
I wish our Russian friend was here to help you.
Yeah. Sometimes it's better to sneak around alone.
Are you armed?
I am, but apparently that is a problem in England. Hopefully, I won't need to use any of my weapon. I'll be answering to different questions then. Okay, Chris, so that's what Alvin wants to do in the evening. He wants to try to he wants to tail the director what
Okay.
he's doing
Perfect.
while the other two go discuss with the painter.
Alrighty.
I know it's not fun to split the party. You can make it just a roll for me, but is what it is.
No problem. So you guys are gonna like have a quick late lunch and then split the party?
Yeah, because that's well advised.
Is it a TPK if half the party shows up and that half dies?
Nope.
They just get back and no one's at the hotel. No one ever comes back to the hotel.
What
Then
happened
there's
to
an
them?
article in the newspaper.
Last we heard, they were on their way to
Mysterious
Kenya.
stranger. Oh God. Yeah, we made all the travel arrangements ourselves.
Womp womp womp.
All right. So you guys are gonna go visit Mr. Shipley. His address is easy to get. He is 6 Holbein Mews near Sloane Square in London. He is not out of town.
Spectacular. I will stop off at a bank and pull out some money just in case for bribing purposes, or sorry, patron of the arts purposes.
Okay.
But we'll see.
So he is in Chelsea. Chelsea is in West London, basically north of the Thames. Chelsea itself is predominantly lower middle class, working class.
Can I pick up the camera first too?
What is your daily spending limit?
Credit rating 60.
It should say on your cash and gear tab. It should say daily spending limit.
Under spending level 50, cash on hand 100, assets 30 grand.
Perfect. So you are quite well off. You can easily get a camera, and you have some money for bribes and the like.
Perfect.
All right. The houses in Chelsea are very they're like those close packed houses that you see whenever you watch a movie set in England.
Like row houses?
Not quite row houses, but very similar. There's a very slight little space between each house, but primarily it's a front yard and a backyard and a narrow house.
Okay.
The houses though they do have like a little artistic flair, so there's kind of like this, artistic vibe in the community. As you guys arrive, it's probably around the time when people are like just starting to get home from their day at work. The Shipley house itself, it's a 2-story brick building. Definitely needs repair. Even just a cursory glance tells you that all of the windows are barred and tightly curtained. There are front and rear entrances. There is a brick wall around the back garden and some fairly large trees to obscure the view from any neighboring windows that might look into the garden. And there's like a little lane that runs along the backs of all the properties that basically is where their rear gate is.
All right. So I'm thinking the angle we take with this is that we read the amazing review he had in that paper. We were in the country, and we were interested in meeting him, seeing him stuff. Maybe take some pictures of his. Maybe a little interview for our own edification, not for publication. Maybe take some pictures, buy a sketch or two. Pay him for his time because artists are always need money. And maybe use an occult angle. Like we're both fascinated by the occult. You got a little Ouija tarot thing going on anyway, don't you?
Yes, I'm a spiritualist.
Right, and I'm just fascinated by the subject, and we're kind of just. I mean, we've heard based on people who've seen his stuff that there's a little bit of that occult elements in his paintings. So we're just fascinated. We're fanboys, basically.
As to what his, I'd be very curious what his inspiration is. Because those paintings are disturbingly similar to some dreams that we had.
We haven't seen any of the paintings, right? Just describe them, right?
Described.
Oh, okay. The descriptions sound disturbingly similar to some dreams that we've had.
Right. They're so controversial, there's no pictures of them in the papers. They're just described. I remember now.
Right.
Quite evocative descriptions, though. So we'll see if they live up to the claims, I suppose.
That's a good angle. In the meantime, I'll be the driver and the photographer if hired.
Oh, you want me to do most of the talking on this one?
Yeah.
Dear.
You're the spiritualist.
I am the spiritualist, yes.
All right.
I can certainly try. She's gonna swap out notebooks. And actually grab her dream journal this time.
Okay. All right. So what are you guys doing?
Heading off to the artists. Once he's picking up money and a camera, I think. I'm grabbing my dream journal where I've got records of
film for the camera.
Dreams I have.
All right.
Also, film for the camera. I don't know how specific I need to be.
Okay. No problem.
Are we? I'm not sure about the state of photography in 1925.
There, it's perfectly fine. We've got photographs of World War I.
True, we've moved past the whole silver plate.
Yes, you have moved
Don't
past
move
those.
for 15 minutes.
We have photographs of Billy the Kid.
Yeah, the problem is the
so
flash.
Yeah.
The flash is not something concealable, is the problem.
Not even a
Oh no, there'll be no concealed photography.
We're being straight up with this guy as far as taking pictures are. We're not hiding taking pictures.
We're not hiding what I do for a living either.
No.
All right. So you guys arrive in Chelsea at this little 2-story flat in desperate need of repairs.
Did we add someone? Someone just jumped in?
Yes, we did. Lawrence. Dr. Carter has arrived. Ish.
Oh, and he missed all the archaeologist stuff.
That's okay.
We haven't gone to the museum to see the exhibition yet, right?
It's true.
No, but we just walked through an entire other museum.
But it means that there's someone that theoretically they don't recognize.
Oh no! He's back.
You're muted, bud.
No, it wasn't
There you
jumping
are.
on my headphones, so taking the time.
All right. So you guys are in Chelsea.
Yes. So, he hasn't offered, but I'm going to take Bill's arm
Oh yeah, I'll offer.
and walk up like, proper people, proper-ish.
Actually, I'm a little bigger than Raider. My size is 65. My constitution is 70.
So how tall do you figure your character is?
Oh, let's say 6 feet. And well, actually, let's make him tall and lanky. Let's make him like 6'5", but like 180 pounds.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So basketball, college basketball.
No wonder they followed us.
I always play short
Nothing's-
characters. Let's make this one tall.
Nothing suspicious at all there. Yeah. I don't know. Guerrero was 5'10". It's not exactly short.
And I guess Barnacle and Mickey were both tall. Usually I play goblins and halflings and gnomes and stuff.
Let's see. Call these itty bitty. But
All right.
You did. All right, let's go ahead. Yeah, so I will escort you and I will play the
Check
part
if
of the
there's a
assistant
bell.
again.
Oh, I'll ring the door knocker.
Okay.
Or knock the door knocker.
You're this kind of like elderly British like lady. Like, who is it?
I'll look over at Bill. That's not the voice I expected.
Bands with money, ma'am.
Just a second. There's like the unlocking of a door, and it opens like part way. There's like a little old lady kind of peering through the door at you.
Not at all what I
We're here to see the genius himself, ma'am.
Throw a picture up there on Foundry for you.
Oh yeah, she looks like my grandmother.
Oh no.
It's like,
I could see that being your mom in like 30 years maybe.
No, grandmother on the dad's side.
Oh.
it's like, you're here for Miles?
We'd love to meet him if that's all right. We can make a contribution to his cause. We are big fans and have many questions. We'd love to take some pictures too, if that's all right.
Oh no pictures.
All right, and I'll put the camera back in the case, visibly, so she can see me do it.
And then she kind of goes to basically the bottom of the stairs. It's like, Miles, there's some people here to see you. And a couple minutes later, and she has not yet opened the door. A couple minutes later, it's fumbling down the stairs. It's like, did they say who they were, Mom? No, they didn't say.
From where?
Just like as he's coming down the stairs, he's talking to his mom.
Oh, okay.
Huh. Evelyn kind of glance over at Bill, like, not what I was expecting. And then she straightens a bit once she sees him.
Yeah, he's not unattractive, is he?
And the lady she'll open up the door. She's like, come in.
I don't see a
Okay,
family resemblance.
So the inside of the house, it is cluttered. Nothing looks new. The magenta and ivory colored wallpaper is kind of fading from age. There's like dust in corners. There's spider webs clinging to the ceiling in the corners. There's like a hallway. There's a reception room, dining room, parlor, staircase that goes upstairs. An extremely foul smell hits the two of you. And the inside of the house is, I'm going to use the word moist.
Moldy?
Probably some of that as well. But it is
damp.
It is warm and damp and moist and smelly. Both of you can give me natural world lore. Natural world rolls.
I'm thinking this house might be the inspiration. Oh dear.
All on you. And look at you!
Ooh.
What? I have
Wow.
a 10 in natural world, let alone.
And you got a critical success.
What the hell?
And I
You know
failed my
this
roll
means I'm
for
gonna
77.
Yeah.
Roll
I'm-
for 77.
I'm going to fail all of my rolls from the rest of the night. We know this now. I've rolled all of my dice luck in one roll.
This might be an important roll, though.
Here's hoping.
There might be some hallucinogenic Lovecraftian fungus growing in this building.
They're like it's his mother.
Right. So Evelyn, this reminds you like the moisture in the air, the smell. This reminds you of like probably when you were younger of visiting a zoo. That sort of combination of like animal musk and dung and urine and that kind of cloying heat and humidity in a zoo. It reminds you of that.
Oh. Okay.
And since you got a 1, it's very reminiscent of the smell of the reptile house at the zoo.
Okay. Gotcha.
And meanwhile, Miles. So you wanted to see me?
Yes, we read about your paintings. And we were absolutely intrigued.
You want to buy one?
We'd love to see them. She'll lean in a little bit. The newspaper didn't include any photographs.
No photographs.
The descriptions, though, were absolutely evocative.
Definitely. And he kind of looks you over and says, but you're interested in buying one, right?
If you're selling them yourself and not going through an agency of some nature, I'm sure that we can come to some sort of an arrangement.
Certainly. Come with me. And he looks. He's like, I'm gonna show them the paintings, okay, Mom? She's like, yes, dear, go ahead. I'll just start getting supper ready. And he leads you upstairs. Basically, the second floor. It's like the bedrooms. You do see 3 of the rooms are the doors are closed and locked, and one of the rooms is open, and it looks like just kind of a pigsty. The bedclothes are tossed everywhere. Items of clothing strewn about. It is unkempt, to say the least. But he leads you kind of past that and to the stairs that lead upstairs to the attic. He kind of stops and fumbles around, takes a key out, and opens up this large padlock on the attic door. Inside, there's like kerosene lamps, kind of lighting. It's a bare room with sloping ceilings.
Okay. Do I need a spot hidden?
No. The skylight is painted black, and underneath that there is an easel. The canvas has like a couple of pencil sketches towards. Looks like he's working on something new. There's a table to the left that has like brushes and paints and palettes and stuff. Over, like against one of the walls, are various paintings. And then tucked in the corner, there's a standalone closet with the door padlocked. It's like I'm working on that one there, but I have some that I can show you here if there's any that you're interested in. How does 75 pounds sound?
Let's see the paintings first.
Certainly.
Again, we read reviews. We want to see. We're here for art, not reviews of art. We got to make sure that it fits what we're looking for.
Certainly.
The lady's a bit of a spiritualist. She knows what she wants. I'm just I'm out of my realm on this. Okay. But I brought the money.
Excellent.
And the muscle.
And he'll kind of light one of the kerosene lanterns, kind of slowly turn it up. It kind of casts like an eerie shadow over everything. And he starts flipping through the paintings. One of them looks like an alchemist's laboratory with vials of foul-looking gas. There's like a reptilian humanoid dissecting some sort of creature. You can't make out the identity of the creature being cut apart, but it looks familiar. The next one is a processional scene from ancient Egypt in which a golden chariot passes through a mass of people who fall into their knees in reverence. Atop the chariot is a pharaoh dressed in black and gold robes whose face is turned away from the viewer. Behind the figure, two men have been impaled on stakes, eviscerated, their internal organs hanging to the ground and being eaten by a pack of jackals.
Evelyn will go a little paler at that one.
That figure looks very familiar to Evelyn.
Yeah, thought it might.
The next painting is a nighttime in a woodland scene. A yellow moon casts sickly rays through dark branches upon a group of naked men and women cavorting around a bonfire. Rising from the flames is the image of a goat-headed man whose outstretched arms seem to be conducting the crazed antics of the witches. Another one is an unsettling and stomach-churning scene of a man being cut open with a silver dagger held in the hand of a black-robed figure. An act of ritual blood sacrifice upon the victim's chest has been carved in an occult-looking sigil which seems to twist and move as you watch.
Does it look like the one that was on Jackson's forehead?
Similar.
Okay, because my next question was going to be, or does it look like the elder sign that Dr. Carter has been showing us?
And the final painting is a towering mountain, possibly in Africa, over which rises a monstrous demonic creature, its head a great tentacle swathed in blood. Near a temple-like building, tiny human figures lift their hands imploringly skyward in supplication to the hellish godlike entity. From each of the humans' heads, a red tongue or tentacle dangles. Looking closely, they appear to be ceremonial headpieces. And as you start to look through these paintings, the subject matter is disturbing, some of it familiar in a way. But there's aspects of these paintings that seem to, move. maybe it's just a flickering of the kerosene flame. But as you're looking at these paintings, the one of the person being dissected, the face kind of turns and twists until it looks like Luther. The one of the man being cut open by the silver dagger, that looks like Alvin. The Dark Pharaoh, one of those people supplicating at his feet, that looks like Evelyn. And I'm going to get both of you to give me sanity rolls.
Yep. Absolutely. I think Evelyn has been gripping Bill's arm tighter and tighter as these paintings are being revealed.
Well, that's good for Evelyn.
Not so good for me.
Evelyn loses 2 points of sanity.
Good. Good for her. Uh-huh.
Bill loses 8.
Yeah, well. Oh, dear.
That gives me about a madness.
Alright, so, Bill.
Oh,
no. Because you lost more than 5 at once. Actually, Bill might be in for a rough go here. Let me double check Bill's character sheet. Oh, good. Your daily limit for sanity loss is 11, so it's not going to be an indefinite insanity. So as you're watching these, and Evelyn, you're like hanging on to Bill, and you can feel Bill start to kind of tense up, start to like just freeze. And I'm going to need Bill to give me an intelligence roll. Oh, that's not good.
Oh, that's the third one today. Something's odd with this randomizer.
It happens. All right. So, Bill, you recognize the full brunt of what you're seeing.
Oh.
And roll me a d10.
Roll a d10?
Yep. A 1. Oh. Okay. All right. So, you guys are looking at the paintings. Bill kind of goes kind of slack-jawed. Just so, Bill, just so you're aware, you remember breakfast this morning?
Yeah.
That is the last thing you remember.
Okay.
Whatever trauma these paintings inflicted upon you have caused you to you've basically blocked out this day. You kind of come to. Evelyn's beside you. You're in an attic. You're not sure how you got here or what exactly you're doing.
Lovely.
Oh, and the other fun thing, since this is Mythos-inspired crazy, you get some Cthulhu Mythos. There you go. Some brand new Cthulhu Mythos skills.
Yay.
In the meantime, Alvin. Since
New Cthulhu Mythos skills. What did you do to my sheet?
I added 5% to Cthulhu Mythos for the first time going insane as a result of the Mythos.
Wow, it went from 1 to 6.
Yep. And maximum sanity drops as well. All right. So, Alvin, you are going to follow Gavigan. I will get you to give me a stealth roll.
Test? No, it's not. Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can. Okay.
So I'm going to need you to give me a stealth roll there as you follow Gavigan as he finishes up for the day.
I certainly stealth.
That is a great roll.
I mean, it's not as good as the one. The third one of the night. That led to insanity.
Yeah.
You find a convenient place to look, and knowing that the Penhew Foundation is something that you need to be a little bit careful of. You kind of find a spot where you're not really going to be noticed. You're kind of used to this. You wait. You know that the foundation is open to the public till 5. A little bit of time to close up. And right about 5:30 or so, you do see a couple of things while you're on watch. You do notice that at about 10 to 5 or so, the cleaning lady goes in.
Yes.
And towards just before the close of business for the day, there is a truck that basically loads up and heads out.
Okay. Do I see the people who are tracking us come back by chance?
You see them about. They're not looking for you, but you do see them about. And give me a spot hidden.
Sure. Not bad.
Okay. So the name that's painted on the side of the delivery truck, the cargo vehicle, is Ferris and Sons.
Is that supposed to sound familiar?
No. But you're a private investigator. You would note down such things.
Perfect. Goes in my... I make a mental note.
But, Gavigan comes out. He does seem to be the last one to leave. As far as you can tell with your spot hidden. The cleaning lady is still inside. She's probably working through the night, probably until, midnight-ish, you would guess, given the time she started. And there's at least 1 or 2 security guards in the building. And no more than 2, you think.
Okay. And the little lady, was she wearing a uniform, or was she looked like she was hired as an independent?
No, just, somebody from the local neighborhood who comes in and cleans the building.
Okay.
But you follow Gavigan, and he heads down to Soho.
Oh, interesting. I know that there's something in Soho that we were talking about before.
I know, like the Bohemian artsy.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was
It's a gallery there. You thought maybe the artist might hang out there.
I know that Soho came up a few times when I was saying, hey, people who go missing, where are they from? And you said, oh, Soho. It's kind of like this little area.
Yep. That's where a lot of the murder victims were familiar with.
And And it's not fancy enough for him to live there.
No, it is not.
Okay. Anything else? So he heads to Soho. And to go anywhere specific?
He does. He goes to what looks like a nightclub.
Okay. Chris, as someone who has followed people before, does this someone who is like checking for stuff, or is he like blissfully ignorant that he might be followed?
No, he is keeping his eyes open, but you succeeded on your stealth roll.
Okay.
But he's definitely looking out to see if he's being followed.
Okay.
But he goes to a place called the Blue Pyramid.
Of course, it was called that.
Which is a private members club in Soho.
Oh, okay. So I'm not getting in there, but and normally private members clubs have multiple entrances or exits. He went with his own vehicle, or did he get a lift?
He walked.
He walked to Soho?
Yep, it's not that far. Central London to Soho is not a long distance to walk.
Okay, fair. I'm gonna stake out for a little bit, and then I'm gonna go back to the hotel, unless something weird happens.
Okay. You can give me a spot hidden roll.
AFK, 1 sec.
I'm gonna push that. Not push that. I'm going to luck that.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. So as you're keeping watch in the place, after probably 20 minutes or so, Gavigan comes out with a woman, and they kind of like move off a little ways to an alley. She's quite an attractive looking, obviously Middle Eastern woman.
Okay. Is she a woman of the night?
Sorry about that.
She does not look to be, no.
Okay.
There you go. We'll share the picture there to Foundry.
Are these the AI pictures that you built?
They are.
You did a great job, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, they seem to be having a discussion of some sort. Give me a listen roll.
Oh, no, I'm less good at it. Oh, Jesus. I actually made it. Check that out.
All right. So you're not close enough to overhear everything that they're saying. But you do catch something about Americans, something about a journalist, something about the expedition, and something about not interfering with shipments.
Got it.
And then you get basically, she's like, can you deal with them? And Gavigan's like, yes.
Okay.
She's like, don't send your brutes. And she's like, I will take care of it, as always.
I was expecting him to say, anyway.
So he goes back into the club. She does not. She goes off in a different direction.
Do I push my luck? feel like this is a once in a while opportunity. Not in a lifetime, but in a while opportunity. Can I track her from a distance, or is she gonna? Because I'm on foot, because he was on foot.
Yep.
Or is she get into a conveyance and also disappear?
Nope, she is walking.
I'm assuming I need to make a stealth check for this.
If you want to follow her, yes.
Yes, I do. Where's my stealth? Why is my mouse button not working? Dell. Oof. I'm a push. I'm going to spend my luck there too.
Okay.
Another 10 points of luck.
All right. What is her spot here?
Does that mean she needs 2 stars to beat mine?
No. It's not an opposed roll. Basically, your difficulty is based off of her spot hidden, so that way you're the only one who's rolling.
Okay. But you didn't tell me if it was hard or not.
Nope. But you do follow her to a little business called Empire Spices. It's like a couple of blocks away from the Blue Pyramid.
Okay, that's going to be enough for me because we can pick her up here later. Well, I wait a while. Does it look like she's working there, or is she just picking something up in 5 minutes? She's out.
No, like she goes inside. She closes the door behind you. On like the second floor, you see like a light come on.
Okay. She either works there or lives above.
Yeah, probably both.
Okay, I am going to bow out. It was what spices?
Empire Spices.
Empire Spices.
Meanwhile, back at the
Chris?
painter's house. Yes.
I don't know if I should make another stealth check, but just in case I'm being re-followed, I'm going to try to be dodgy and to break any tails, whether I think that I'm being followed or not.
Okay. Yeah, give me a stealth roll just in case. You've been pretty stealthy so far, so.
Yeah, I know, but...
Yep, better safe than sorry, right?
Exactly, yeah. Even if I don't see them, I'm dodging them.
Gotcha. Okay. So back at the Shipley house. So yes, Bill.
I'm kind of like, oh my god, did I black out again? This hasn't happened since the war. What?
Evelyn,
where am I?
Alarmed.
Where am I?
We're at the artist's house.
What day is this?
Monday?
I don't remember a damn thing since breakfast. What happened?
Oh, not much. We took a bit of a drive out of the city, and then we came here. She'll be looking at him with a bit of concern. Not fully turned toward him because she wants to keep the artist where she can see him.
He's looking back with a lot of concern.
Yeah, she'll just kind of, like, she's got her one arm linked kind of with his, and she'll just slide her other hand down to his hand and just kind of squeeze it once.
Is there a chair around here?
There is not.
Okay, he just sits right down on the floor. Puts his head in his hands. Ah, shit, I thought I was done with this.
Miles will be like, do you need something to drink?
No, I just need to feel a little vertigo. I'll be alright. Just
cold water, maybe?
He kind of looks up to her and it's like he really doesn't want to drink or eat anything in this place.
Yeah, I know. It occurs to her like the minute it's out of her mouth, she's like, "I wouldn't."
You wouldn't have a bit of whiskey in your purse there, would you?
Not today.
Then I'm fine.
So in the future. No, that's really more Luther's purview. Was that 75 for the lot or 75 each?
75 each.
I only brought 50 with me. I'm not saying that out loud, but Evelyn would know this.
And there were 4? Or 5?
5.
Chris. 5? Okay. Yes. But I have questions.
Okay.
One of them is a picture of you, right?
Well, as far as Evelyn sees, yes, one of them. She is in one of them.
There was none of Bill, was there?
There were not any of Bill.
Right.
Oh.
Was Volador there? I guess we wouldn't know, right?
No.
Huh.
I mean, there might be if you want to look harder.
Well,
not in this room.
You wouldn't know what Volador's real face looks like anyway.
That's true. That's very true. He might be the one getting eviscerated, for all she can tell. Oh no, wait, that was Luther. If you wouldn't mind covering them up for the time being. And perhaps we could take this discussion into the garden. Evelyn's picking up some local slang.
So he will he'll cover them up. It's like, which one? I'm particularly proud of the Black Mountain painting. It's one of my more recent ones.
The Black Mountain. The one of the Pharaoh.
Oh no, the Pharaoh was a earlier work. No, and he pulls back the thing and he flips through them until he gets to the one with the mountain. It's the one with the big mountain and the demonic creature with its head being a giant tentacle covered in blood.
I somehow did not remember that description. Please add the descriptions of the paintings in the Discord when you get a chance, because yeah.
It was the one that's like the tentacle monster Cthulhu head, right?
Yep. Bunch of tiny little humans, like basically praying to it, wearing what looks like red tongues or tentacles dangling from their heads.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Looking very much like the ceremonial headpieces of the Cult of the Bloody Tongue.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, I can see it looked like it took quite a bit of work. If you wouldn't mind just redraping it, and perhaps we can take my dear Bill outside so that we can get some air while you discuss these paintings with me.
Okay. Sure. So he covers them up. Goes back downstairs. He does carefully lock the attic. It like turns off the light and locks it.
I'm curious if this happens often. People see his paintings?
I'd want those behind lock and key too.
Goes downstairs. Mrs. Shipley is like, she's like, supper will just be a few minutes. Are you folks staying?
No, thank you. My friend isn't feeling terribly well.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I might have some medicine that will help with an upset stomach.
No, we're just going to take him outside into the fresh air for a few minutes and cooler air while I discuss matters of shipping with your son. Thank you, though. Lovely of you to offer.
So yes, you guys head out into the garden.
Yeah. Are there any chairs back here or anything?
There's a couple of like decent sized kind of like stones, and a couple of chairs.
Okay. I'll guide Bill over to.
Yeah. Thank you.
A chair. And take one for myself. I think Alex is trying to ask you something. And Evelyn will kind of gather herself, take a deep breath of the lovely, smoggy English air, and
Reptilian air?
the what?
Non-reptilian air from the inside?
Yeah. Fresher air. Those, I can see why there were no photographs. They would definitely not be captured well in photographs. But I'm terribly interested in your inspiration. Those are like nothing I've ever seen before.
They come to me like visions, like something that I've seen someplace I've been.
Like dreams.
Like dreams. And both of you give me spot hidden rolls.
Nosy old woman watching us. Or something worse. No.
You could spend
Yeah,
like
I'm not doing this.
I'm within 9, but $54 luck. I think I'd rather save that when someone's life is on the line, given how infrequently I get it back.
Okay. And both of you can also give me psychology rolls.
Oh, this I've got a chance at. Oh, are you fucking kidding me?
I'll spend a 12 luck
I
for
could.
the psychology roll. Oh, actually, you can spend it if you want.
I can spend. It's just 6 for me. I'll spend the 6
Yeah.
luck.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't see that you had a 78 on it.
Yeah, I told you. Once I rolled that 1, the rest of my luck this night was gonna be shit.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So, Evelyn, you can tell Miles. He seems. He's nervous. But also, it seems like he's twitchy.
Compelled to talk about it.
very twitchy. So I have dreams, and then I make the paintings, and it helps. People seem to like them. They pay good money for them. My mom. We do pretty good with the paintings. We're going to be able to fix up the house, and he just kind of like trails off.
What's the psychology roll get her?
That he is scared and twitchy.
Okay.
And what does your mother think of the paintings?
She likes them. She encourages me.
Oh. So she's seen them.
Yes.
I was wondering where you have them under lock and key.
They're getting to be quite valuable, and I don't want anybody to steal them.
That's understandable. I mean, she's elderly. I'm sure you leave the house now and then.
Now and then.
I could see why you would want them.
Give me another psychology roll.
That both of us or just her?
Both of you can.
Told ya. Shit luck for the rest of the night. 16 is just too much.
You can push it.
I could push it, that's true. I never think of doing that in this game.
Yep.
It's something I normally save for.
Just remember that if you fail the roll after pushing it, there are consequences.
Yep.
So you could push it by kind of asking him more pressing questions, but the consequence will be that he will probably either lash out or completely clam up. You don't know which.
Oh, damn. I don't want that because there's specific information I want to try to get from him. Okay, she'll kind of abandon that conversation about him leaving the house. How long have you been painting these?
Couple of months, I think. I lose track of time sometimes.
Well, that's understandable. The skylight's painted over, so
yeah,
I imagine
it gets bright up there.
I would imagine it would make it harder to paint. I know it certainly makes it harder in my line of work. Bright sunlight and spiritualism don't go together very well.
Yeah, true.
You said that others have bought them. You've only been painting them, though, for a few months. How many have you done? How many are in this series?
10. I've got one that I'm working on in the closet, but Mother says that's not to show anybody. Not yet.
Who
Not
said?
till it's ready. Mother. But that one's not ready yet.
I would be willing to pay to see that, get a brief, get a preview of it, without even having to own the painting. I'd be willing to pay $40 for the opportunity to see a Miles original before it's revealed to the public.
Give me a persuasion roll.
And I will spend the, what was that, 35 to get that?
25. 25.
25? I will spend that.
Okay.
But I need some luck back today, please, Chris.
That's not up to me. That's up to the dice. Okay, so I'm not supposed to show anybody, but we need the money. Okay. So
Can I tag along too?
Oh, clearly.
Oh, thank you. I'd hate to be abandoned.
You're the one that knows about this stuff. I'm just...
It's true.
All right. So he'll lead you back upstairs. Mother's like, Miles, it's dinner time. It's like, just a second, Mom. I think they're going to buy 2 paintings. She's like, oh, 2 paintings. That's lovely. Okay, I'll keep it warm for you. So he goes upstairs, unlocks
What's
everything
she
again.
making?
It looks like she's making like stew. Oh man, you guys can smell over the smell of like dank reptile and animal and urine and feces. You can smell fresh baked bread.
Oh, well, that's nice. All I can think when you said it's stew, all I could think was Fred's tentacle stew that he made for our. Yeah, that's so nasty. Okay.
Right. And then he'll light the lantern again, and he goes over to the padlock and he opens it up again. And inside the closet, there's a dirty sheet covering an easel and a canvas. He pulls it back, and the canvas, it looks like kind of sketched out, half painted, but it seems to be moving.
Their sanity check again?
It shows a swampy area infested with serpents. A small island in the center holding a stone altar. Somebody can give me an archaeology or science botany roll.
Well, I don't have science botany. And my archaeology, I'd have to roll a nat 1. But we've already rolled 3 of those today. What's the chance for 4, right?
Archaeology or anthropology?
Archaeology.
Oh. Well, I mean, I'll try. I don't have botany at all, but I've got a 3 in archaeology. No.
Okay. Perfect. But as you're looking at this painting, and in the light, the images start to become 3-dimensional. Like the waters in the swamp start to ripple. The plants start to sway, the serpents start to wriggle, and the altar starts to glow. I need each of you to give me a POW roll.
I'm starting to wonder what he puts in his paint.
Yep.
What's a what roll?
On your character sheet, your power attribute.
Right under your size.
Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's really not good.
Jeez.
I'll spend 3 just so one of us makes it.
So as you're looking at this, painting, and it starts to get 3-dimensional, and then you kind of look and you seem to be surrounded by plants, standing in a swamp, and you can feel this like stretchiness to your body as it kind of pulls you towards the painting. Bill, you kind of snap out of it, but you can see Evelyn getting drawn into the painting.
Well, I grab her and pull her out of the room.
Okay, give me a dex roll.
I don't really have a big dex or strength. And I blow it.
All right. So kind of two things happen. Evelyn, you get pulled into the painting.
Oh no!
Bill, you hear behind you, Miles, what have you done? And you turn around, and you see Miles's mom. And then your eyes are drawn to her shadow, which is not human. It is larger and muscular and much more reptilian. As her body starts to contort and her human form kind of sheds. Just finding a picture. I have a picture.
Oh God!
Oh, someone $10.
I owe somebody a case. I owe somebody a case of wine.
I need you to give me a sanity roll.
Oh dear.
I'm
That's
assuming when you said-
not what I expected for today.
I'm assuming when you said she gets sucked into the painting, that wasn't a metaphor, right?
Absolutely
Nope.
not a metaphor.
Not a metaphor at all.
You guys went to
I
the
was
safe
really-
thing, right? I went to do the dangerous thing.
Theoretically,
just FYI.
I know, right? I was really starting to think, like, there's some kind of hallucinogens mixed in with his paintings. Nope. Nope, not at all.
Some kind of magic.
So, Bill, you lose 1 point of sanity. That could have been much worse for you. As this lizard thing starts saying, it'll be okay. We'll get your friend. It will be fine. And I need you to give me another power roll.
Oh, fuck.
There we go. I used that one.
Oh, good. You managed to throw off the enthrall spell. So yeah,
Is she in the painting?
Evelyn?
Yeah,
Yes.
because so I can't destroy the painting.
I am no longer in the attic.
Yeah, Evelyn is not in the attic.
Oh, shit.
So this thing, as it's talking to you, you can feel yourself. You're starting to get into like almost like a trance. You know, like what's the snake's name in the Jungle Book?
Vasa or something like that.
Yeah, you know, where he starts to do the hypnosis thing. You can feel yourself starting to just like slow down, and you're like, "No shit, I gotta focus. Kind of snap yourself out of it. But we will call it there.
I'd just like to go on record and say the destruction of the painting is less priority than the destruction of the dragonborn in front of you.
I am unarmed. My strength is 35. My dex is 30.
My dex is only 25. That's why Evelyn
I
doesn't
know,
usually
but you're
go with dangerous things.
you're
This
like
was supposed to be the safe one.
you're one broken hip away from handicap. So
That's true. Yeah, very much so. Holy shit!
that was a session. Holy
I
shit!
wonder
that
what
was
she
a
looks
session.
like a
was-
painting.
That was not what I expected at all. Oh god. I figured, we'll
Ugh.
find out who the other buyers were and track them down and get all of those paintings out of the public. I
I'm
did not
curious-
expect into the painting
I'm curious what
with a lizard
Evelyn
grandma.
looks like. I'm curious what Evelyn looks like in the painting.
Probably a lot like her avatar in the game.
I mean, they're
Only in a swamp.
Only in a swamp.
they're-
I mean, unless he's really not a good painter, she might look like some of the other versions of Evelyn's avatar that I have.
All right. Well, just to add on kind of like a little stinger like they tend to do on TV shows, the camera will focus in on Evelyn. Evelyn, you are not in a painting. You are, in fact, in a swamp surrounded by a bunch of lizard people, roughly 293 million years in the past.
What?
Bom, bom, bom.
The fuck?
Less than expected of you getting sucked into the painting. I'm just
Oh.
All right. Everybody can make
All
their...
thought these people in the Robert E. Howard books, didn't they?
Uh-huh.
I think I have that paperback. I'm gonna go reread that one day.
Yes, please.
Uh,
Any hints you could give would be great.
so folks
Light
can
the swamp on fire.
folks can make their luck recovery rolls. Some folks may need it.
I
Yes.
have what's in my handbag. And
Some people spent 20 luck this session.
Spent more than that.
Bill got one back.
Yeah, thanks.
holy shit. I've
I
never
don't
done
do that since I just spectated.
Welcome to the horror show.
And
You got 10 points back?
Yeah. Apparently it heard me when I said that I never get luck back, and so I'm not going to spend, ridiculous amounts.
all right. So tune in next week when we'll see if Trevor needs to make a third character and Anita needs to make a second character.
No! I like Evelyn. I made the mistake of getting attached to a Call of Cthulhu character.
Mistake.
Yeah, you'd think I'd know better. I've played Call of Cthulhu before.
On the plus side, Evelyn,
But
there is somebody who has offered to give you a hand when you need it.
That is true.
oh yeah, he's in another painting. Probably the one stacked right on top. Yeah. No,
So-
I don't think I want to ask for his help.
You have
I mean,
options.
we'll see how long I'm here in the past and what these lizard people start trying to do.
They're
But
going to eat you.
I might change my mind. Maybe.
All right.
Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll try to turn me into a lizard person. Maybe they'll stick me in another painting. I don't know.
We'll find out. We'll find out next week.
Oh no.